Hello, welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor, Crop Life Iron, here again with Lara Sowinski from Texas as usual. How you doing, Miss Laura?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you, Eric. How are you?
Yeah, yeah, we're doing good. I mean, hey, in Cleveland today, where I'm located, just outside of, it's supposed to be hitting the low 60s, which is usually not a temperature we ever talk about in February in this part of the country. But hey, we're going to take it. That's why I'm wearing short sleeves today. So.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's headline news for sure.
Head very
Warm,
good.
warm.
Well, hey, weather aside, we do have some somber news to share with our viewers this week. For those who may not have already seen, a good friend of ours here at Crop Life and Retail Week, Bill Northey, who was the former Iowa Secretary of Agriculture and current CEO of the Agribusiness Association of Iowa, unexpectedly passed away this week. He was 64 years old. So I know, Laura, Bill has sent us several notes over the years. I know you've been working with him very much as they were getting ready for their annual meeting coming up here next week in Iowa. And yeah, I know that he's going to be greatly missed. I know the folks at AAI put out a statement saying it was great sadness that we report the news of Bill Northey's passing. The state of Iowa and all of agriculture has lost a great leader who has left his mark on future generations and will be greatly missed. So, yeah, so if you wanted to comment a little bit, I know, like I said, you and Bill for the last few months have been working on some drone panel participants, lining those folks up for the meeting. And for myself, I know Bill was a great guy, very approachable, and loved working with him myself. So,
Yeah, honestly, I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary here with Meister, and Bill was actually one of the first people in the industry that I met when I started with Meister. And honestly, he was really one of the most kind and generous, always was available for, a call or answering a question, and always just helpful and cheerful. And he really, honestly, I just always enjoyed him, and he was great. And it really was shocking to me, I'm sure, as, to many others as well. And I mean, it was only a week ago that, as you mentioned, preparing for this drone panel at AAI's showcase event, which is February 12th and 13th there in Altoona. It's it's been hard. It's really just it was really sad news. I'm thankful in the sense that the showcase event will still go on. I'm sure Bill would have wanted that for sure. It's a great gathering, and um, his shaping and influence of not only the showcase event, but all the things that the AAI does. So it'll be kind of good in that respect to be around others and be someplace that and participating in an event that was so important to Bill. So yeah, he did, as reach out to us last year and say, hey, we'd like to get a drone panel on the program. You guys think you can help out? And of course, we jumped in and said, yeah, sounds like a great idea. So I'm lucky to have 3 gentlemen from the industry on my drone panel, which will be on February 12th on Monday, 4 p.m. Central at the showcase event there. Adam Gittins from HTS Ag, Brady Eilers from Rentizo, and Matt Kessel from Terraplex. So we've already had our prep calls. We're all set for it. Have a lot of good stuff to talk about. Of course, a lot of Q&A from the audience too, we expect. But some of the things, I'll just read some of the topics that we're going to cover. For instance, Adam, he is well versed on the regulatory side of drones, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. But when we were talking in preparation for the panel, one of the things that came up is like, do you, hey, well, let me just say that all of the panelists said, in the scheme of things, when you look at drones, I mean, they're a fairly inexpensive addition when we're talking about equipment and such. I mean, you could easily get into drones for, 20 to 25,000 to 50,000. And it's like a multi-tool is what Matt kind of explained it. They really are a great addition, obviously, to a program. They're not out to replace ground rigs, for instance, stuff like that. It's just a complement to what you're doing, but the return on investment is great. In fact, one thing that Adam mentioned, he said, "Look, he goes, you could even get into drones for $1,000. You just get a drone, you mount a camera on it, and you could even get, I mean, you could really, enter at that point, even and get some good stuff that's usable." Brady was talking about kind of shedding some light on the real world experience. In other words, it compared it to, when they advertise such and such a vehicle will give you X amount of miles per gallon, but when you are driving this vehicle, you're not quite seeing those numbers. So he's like, let's, how do they determine that? And then what are you likely to expect? What factors, shed light on that? And then one last thing that I remember Adam mentioned, he goes, oftentimes the question will come up, do you buy, if you have, want to make continuing investments, is it more drones or is it bigger drones? And according to Adam, he goes, I always opt for more drones because then you could swarm them. He said that's the way to go. So anyway, just have so much really good content and talking points, discussion points for next Monday. So agribusiness.org, so agribiz.org. And again, this is the Agribusiness Association of Iowa's showcase of that.
Very good. So yeah, our
you there.
viewers, if they tune in next week, you'll probably have some updates and information from what went on there. But again, yeah, our sympathy out to the folks in Iowa, the family of Bill Northey, and great guy, will be missed. So hey, I guess just unfortunately continuing the bad news trend for this week's video as we kick off here. This is a court case that actually we found out about back in the fall. It's something that's been going through the courts for a couple of years. There have been a few special interest groups that have been challenging EPA's re-registration of dicamba herbicide for the marketplace. And we found out this week that an Arizona court has now ruled that EPA erred, that they were in violation of their own FIFRA regulations by reauthorizing dicamba's use back in 2020. So they have vacated it. So as of now, you can no longer apply dicamba products over the top for the 2024 growing season. And obviously, as you can imagine, Laura, the manufacturers of dicamba products are not happy with the decision. I'm sure that ag retailers and growers who may have already made seed and product decisions based on what they were planning to do for 24 are now a little bit in a bind. And of course, we did get some comment from our friend Darren Kopic over at the Agricultural Retailers Association regarding this. And he said the ARA disagrees with this decision. It removes a determination that should be made by science-based regulatory agencies and instead puts it in a federal court. And the timing of this decision will be extremely disruptive to ag retailers, distributors, manufacturers, and farmers. So again, at this point, I'm not sure where the next steps are going to come from. I mean, the last time this happened, EPA reauthorized dicamba after I think about a 5 or 6 month lag. But it sounds like this time maybe the review or re-review process will have to take longer, which means things aren't looking good for dicamba application to go down this year, which is unfortunate, of course, because it's an important tool for soybean and cotton growers. So.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, big big development. I know some of our uh, friends on the legal side of the business have been kind of watching this. So yeah, big news all the way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so obviously we'll have more updates on this. It's like I said, the decision just came down a few days ago. As recording this, and folks are still kind of digesting everything. And but as more moves are made, in court or out, we will certainly let our viewers know. So hey, Laura, since I've brought us down now with two fairly not so happy stories, if you could maybe try to bring us back up with something that you've been following in the marketplace that could be a beneficial thing.
I did, and I have to say I found this on our very own Crop Life newsletter this week, and it's kind of cool. Winfield United announced their BioVerified program. What this is a way to highlight biological products that have been thoroughly vetted, according to Winfield. And it's not just for Winfield's products. This is a program that applies across the industry. And there are 4 criteria that Winfield is using to determine if a product will make this BioVerified list. Uniqueness, so in other words, products must fill a need in the marketplace and provide a differentiated benefit. Secondly, it's determined on agronomics, so the products must be proven to work and deliver on the claims. Thirdly, operational alignment. So these factors are handling, shelf life, application options, tank mixability, etc. And lastly, economics. It has to make good business sense for the farm. And its category evaluates the ROI potential. So I thought that was kind of cool. Again, I like it because not only does it help the farmer and ag retailer when they're determining and evaluating and checking out products on the market, but that it's a good service overall, because it's not just Winfield United's products, but it's taking a look at what all is available out there on the market. So check that out.
Yeah, very good. And I think I remember reading in the article that there are 11 products that are currently listed on that
Yeah.
through Winfield on that list. So if you want to see the list for yourself, go to croplife.com and check it out for yourselves.
Yep.
All right. Well, Miss Laura, time for
Yes.
your favorite part of the show. It is time for Fun with Numbers.
All right. Well, do you remember last week I actually got it right?
You did get it right last week. I'm hoping my fingers crossed that you're going to do so again this week. So
Alrighty.
hey, this week your number is a money amount, and it's rather large.
Okay.
39.8 billion. Billion with a B.
Billion with the B. Okay.
Billion with a B. So
All right.
is 39.8 billion, Laura, is that A, the projected ag economic loss for 2024 if the dicamba ban stays in place? Is it B, the economic impact of the annual National Farm Machinery Show on the city of Louisville, Kentucky? Is it C, the economic contribution made by soybeans to U.S. agriculture annually? Or is it D, the amount of fees and added costs I've incurred flying Frontier Airlines the past decade?
uh, Eric, you are something else. I get.
And Frontier Airlines, I'm sure, loves me considering how much
Oh
I've
my
picked on them
wow.
recently.
Oh my goodness. They're gonna see your name one day on the manifest, and they're like, "Get that guy off."
The no-fly list
Right
in
now, they're
Frontier.
gonna.
Yes, I may
uh,
be like they may be highlighting it in not only in yellow but gold with the little stars around it. It could be really ugly. Yes, you're right.
oh wow. I'm gonna go with C.
Yay! You are on a roll, ma'am. Yes, you are absolutely correct. This came
Cool.
from our friends at Feed and Grain, and they actually said that the U.S. soy complex, that includes soybean, meal, and oil, contributed in 2022-2023 $39.8 billion to the U.S. economy. And they also noted that the meal exporting went through the roof. It actually was 67.6 million metric tons of
Oh,
meal that was exported. So
that's interesting.
again, some interesting figures. But yes, we've
Mhm.
been talking a lot about soybean recently and the possibility of more being planted to keep up with renewable diesel demand. But
Yep.
um, even before that, soybean is a very important part of the U.S. economy and in agriculture in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a sizable addition. Yep. No, that's cool. Great.
Yep. So congratulations, two
Wow.
weeks in a
2 for 2
row,
in 2 weeks.
starting a winning streak again. So. Well, hey, viewers, as Laura mentioned, she's going to be at the Iowa meeting, the showcase next week. So we'll have some report from that. As for myself, I'm going to be heading down to the National Farm Machinery Show, which I just mentioned, which is in Louisville, Kentucky, to see all the new equipment that will be offered up to the industry here in the 2024 growing season. So if you're going to be at that event in Louisville, I know about 300,000 people go, but if you can find me, please say hi. And if not, if you tune in next week, if you can't make the show yourself, I'll have some photos, highlights from that event, and we'll be able to share whatever tidbits we gather while we're there, us and myself and our staff. So,
Sounds great. We'll have a good time at the show and we'll compare notes when you get back, and safe travels, Eric.
yeah, and to you too, ma'am.
Thank
So
you.
that's it for this edition of Crop Life Retail Week. On behalf of myself, Eric Sfiligoj, Lara Sowinski, and everyone here at Crop Life, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comments section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.